Discourse 2, a dialogue between the Kumaras and Narada. Narada began again. In vain do you vex yourself, O young woman. Oh, why should you be afflicted with worry? Think of the lotus feet of Sri Krishna and your misery will be gone. The celebrated Sri Krishna, by whom Draupadi was saved from the tyranny of the Kauravas, nay, by whom the pretty girls of Raja were made the recipients of special favors, has gone nowhere. You, Bhakti, as a matter of fact, are even dearer to the Lord than his own life. Invoked by you, indeed, the Lord goes even to the houses of the low. In the three yugas, commencing from Satya, that is, Satya Yuga, Treta, and Dwapara, spiritual enlightenment and dispassion were the means to achieve redemption of the soul. In Kali, however, Bhakti alone effects unity with Brahma. Concluding thus, they say, the Lord, who is all spirit, the embodiment of supreme bliss and consciousness, evolved you, the embodiment of truth, as a charming girl, the beloved of Sri Krishna. Joining your palms as a token of submission, you once asked him, what shall I do? Sri Krishna then commanded you, look after my devotees. This was accepted by you as a matter of fact, and Sri Hari felt highly gratified at that time and conferred on you on the said occasion as a maidservant Mukti, which is also called liberation, as well as these two, Jnana and Vairagya, as your sons. In your real form, you look after the devotees in Vaikuntha, while a shadow form has been assumed by you to take care of the devotees on earth. Taking Mukti, Gyan and Vairagya with you, you came down to the earth. From Krita Yuga down to the end of Dwapara, you stayed here with great joy. Afflicted with the malady of false doctrines, however, Mukti underwent decay in Kali Yuga, and under your direction, she returned to Vaikuntha soon. Yet, even when thought of by you, she comes to this very region and goes back again, while these Jnana and Vairagya have been kept by you by your own side, treating them as your sons. Through neglect in Kali Yuga, both your sons have become sluggish and old. Nevertheless, cease your worrying. In the meantime, I am taxing my brain about a remedy. There is no age like Kali, O lady with a charming countenance. In this Yuga, I shall establish you in every house and in every individual. If I fail to propagate you in the world, throwing into the background all other cults and placing above all grand celebrations connected with devotion, I am no longer a servant of Sri Hari. Even though sinners, man who will be endowed with you in this age of Kali will attain after death the abode of Sri Krishna, which is free from all fear. Those pure-bodied souls in whose mind constantly abides devotion in the form of love for the Lord do not see the face of Yama, the god of punishment, even in a dream. Neither the spirit of a departed soul, nor a fiend, nor an ogre, nor a demon has got the power to even touch those whose mind is enriched with devotion. Sri Hari can be won neither by means of austerities, nor through the study of Vedas, nor through spiritual enlightenment, nor even through righteous actions. He can be won only through devotion. The cowherds of Raja bear testimony to this. Fondness for devotion is in fact engendered in the mind of men after thousands of lives. In Kali Yuga, in the age of Kali, Bhakti alone is supreme. As a result of Bhakti, Sri Krishna reveals himself and stands at our very door. Those who are hostile to bhakti suffer in all the three worlds. In the past, the sage Durvasa, who approached a devotee in the person of King Ambarish, came to grief. Have done with the observance of sacred vows, have done with undertaking pilgrimages to sacred places, having done with spiritual disciplines, having done with sacrificial performances, and having done with discourses on spiritual enlightenment, bhakti alone is capable of conferring liberation. Suta resumed. Hearing thus of her own glory, as ascertained by Narada, Bhakti got enriched with the fullness of her limbs and spoke to him as follows. Bhakti said, O Narada, you are really blessed. Your devotion to me is unflinching. I shall ever abide in your heart and shall never forsake you. My agony has been dispelled by you in a moment, compassionate as you are, O pious soul. Consciousness, however, has not yet returned to my sons. Therefore, pray, awaken them, bring them to consciousness. Suta continued. Narada was filled with compassion to hear the appeal of bhakti and began to rouse them, pressing them with his fingers. Taking his mouth near their ears, he shouted clearly as follows. O Jnana, wake up at once. O Vairagya, wake up. Being roused again and again on that occasion by him through the chanting of Vedic and Upanishadic texts, recitation of the Gita, and so on, they rose somehow with great exertion. Full of languor as they were, both began to yawn and could not open their eyes to see. Their hair had grown white like the dawn of a heron, and their limbs, reduced to a bare skeleton, looked like pieces of dry wood. The moment he perceives them emaciated by hunger and inclined to fall asleep again, the sage Narada felt worried and said to himself, What should be done by me now? Oh, how can their sleepiness and old age, which is even more formidable, disappear? Pondering thus, O Shaunaka, a scion of Brigu, he, Narada, put himself in the mind of Sri Krishna, the protector of cows. Presently, a voice was heard from the heavens saying, O sage, do not feel dejected. This effort of yours will prove fruitful, no doubt. For this, however, O celestial sage, perform your duly righteous act. Saints who are the holiest of the holy will point out to you that act. When that noble act is performed, their old age, including their sleep, will disappear in a moment, and bhakti will spread all around. The voice from the heavens to this effect was clearly and perceptibly heard by all. Narada was struck with wonder and said, What it means is not understood. Narada said, The voice from the sky too has spoken in a mysterious way. I wonder what may be the act which will have to be performed in order that the object of these two may be accomplished. Where will those saints be found, and how will they impart the knowledge of that practice? What should be done by me at the present moment, as enjoined by the voice from the heavens? Suta went on. Leaving both there, the sage Narada departed, going forth from one sacred place to another and making inquiries of the great sages on the way. The story was heard by all. No conclusive reply was, however, given by any. Some declared the malady as incurable, while others said the remedy was difficult to ascertain. Still others, on the other hand, remained mute, and while some evaded the issue and slipped past, thinking it imprudent to to hazard a statement. A tumultuous uproar, causing wonder to all, rose in all the three worlds. People whispered from year to year. When the trio consisting of Bhakti, Gyan and Vairagya did not rise, even though awakened through the chanting of the Vedas and the Upanishads and recitations from the Gita, there is no other remedy. How can that which is not personally known as a matter of fact, even to Narada, be pointed out by ordinary human beings here on earth? In this way, by the host of seers questioned, the remedy was declared after due deliberation as difficult to make out. Tormented with anxiety, Narada thereupon came forthwith to Badrikashrama. There he said to himself, I shall practice severe self-discipline here, and made up his mind to gain that object. Meanwhile, Narada saw in front of him the great sages, Sanaka and his three brothers, shining like millions of suns, and spoke to them as follows. O juvenile sages, my meeting has taken place with you through great good luck. Pray, have compassion on me, and tell me quickly what should I do. You are all great yogis, highly learned and wise. Though looking 5 years of age, each of you are older than the oldest. Having your permanent abode in Vaikuntha, you remain constantly engaged in chanting the names and glories of Sri Hari. Drunk with the charm of the nectar-like stories of the Lord's pastimes, you subsist on such stories alone. Sri Hari alone is my savior. This formula ever plays on your lips as a matter of fact. Hence old age, as directed by Kal, the time spirit, does not harass you. At the mere contraction of your eyebrows in the days gone by, Jaya and Vijaya, porters of Sri Hari, sank down at once to the earth, and 'twas by your grace that they rose back to Vaikuntha. Oh, your sight at this juncture has been secured through great good luck. Favor must be done by your gracious selves to me, wretched as I am. Pray, tell me what may be the spiritual practice that was hinted at by the voice from the heavens, and how it should be gone through by me. Kindly describe it in detail. How can satisfaction be caused to Bhakti, Gyan and Vairagya? And in what manner can they be lovingly and diligently established in all grades of society? The Kumaras said, Do not worry, O celestial sage. Make your mind happy. There is already in actual existence an easy way to do this. Oh, blessed you are, O Narada, who are the crest jewel of those who have turned away from the pleasures of sense. You have always been the guide of the devotees of Sri Krishna and the illuminator of Bhakti Yoga. It should be regarded as no matter of wonder for you who are making such incessant efforts in the cause of devotion. It is but proper on the part of a servant of Sri Krishna to make constant endeavor to establish bhakti on a sound footing. Many a course of discipline has been brought to light by rishis in this world, but they all involve exertion and mostly confer the fruit of Swarga or the heavenly bliss. As for the path leading to Vaikuntha, the everlasting and all blissful realm of Lord Vishnu, it yet remains hidden. It is generally through good luck alone that a person promulgating that course of discipline is found. The righteous practice which was hinted at you the other day by a voice from the heaven is however described today. Please listen with a composed and cheerful mind. Sacrificial performances conducted by means of material substances, those consisting austerities, those in the form of concentration of the mind, and others consisting of knowledge acquired through a study of the Vedas, they are all symbolic of action leading to heaven alone. Indeed, Jnana Yajna, or a sacrifice in the form of knowledge, has been recognized by the wise as a symbol of righteous action, action that leads to liberation. That Yagya is the reading of Srimad Bhagavata, and that has been extolled by Shuka and others. By its very chanting, great strength will be derived by Bhakti, Gyan and Vairagya. The suffering of Gyan and Vairagya will disappear, and happiness will be regained by Bhakti. All these evils of Kali will surely disappear at the very chanting of Srimad Bhagavata, even as wolves take to flight at the very roar of a lion. Then Bhakti, that yields the milk of love, accompanied by Jnana and Vairagya, will dance in every heart and in every home. Narada submitted, when the trio of Bhakti, Gyan and Vairagya did not wake up, even when roused by means of chanting the texts from the Vedas and the Upanishads and recitations from the Gita, how will they get up on a reading of Srimad Bhagavata? For in the stories of Srimad Bhagavata, as a matter of fact, is found the substance of the Vedas alone, running through every couplet, nay, through every single word. Pray, resolve you this doubt of mine, since your sight never goes in vain. No delay should be made by you in this matter, fond as you are of those who have sought you for protection. The Kumaras replied, the story of Srimad Bhagavata has emanated from the essence of the Vedas and the Upanishads, having an existence apart from them and representing their very fruit, as it were. It appears to be the very best. The vital juice circulating in a tree, for example, permeates it from its root to its very top. It cannot be tasted in that state. The same juice, however, when separated in the form of a fruit, captivates the mind of the whole world. To take another illustration, the ghee, existing in a latent form in milk, is not capable of being tasted as such, but the same ghee, when separated, enhances the delight of even the gods. Sugar too, in the form of sap, permeates the sugarcane from the middle to both its ends, but tastes sweeter when separated from the cane and condensed. The same is the case with the story of the Bhagavata. This Purana, named Bhagavata, which is on par with the Vedas, has been revealed by the sage Vedvyas for stabilizing Bhakti, Gyan and Vairagya. Formerly, when Vyasa, though well versed in Veda and Vedanta and the Upanishads, and even though he had composed the Gita, began to sink in the ocean of infatuation, full of remorse as he was, this Srimad Bhagavata, which originally consisted of 4 couplets only, was taught to him by you on that occasion. By listening to it, Vyasa was immediately rid of all obstruction. Why should there be any surprise to you at this? Prompted by which you put questions to us? Srimad Bhagavata should accordingly be recited to them. Jnana and Vairagya, inasmuch as it is capable of driving away all grief and sorrow. Narada submitted, O great sages, who are solely engaged in drinking the story of Srimad Bhagavata, sung with all his 1,000 mouths by Lord Shesha, the serpent god, I have sought refuge in you in order that you may diffuse the light of divine love, you whose very sight eradicates at once all evils and brings happiness to those tormented by the wildfire of worldly sorrows. When due to rise of the tide of fortune accumulated in the course of many past lives, a man actually secures the fellowship of saints, it is then alone that wisdom dawns on him, dispersing the darkness of infatuation and pride occasioned through the agency of ignorance. Thus ends the second discourse entitled A Dialogue Between the Kumaras and Narada, forming part of the glory of Srimad Bhagavata in the Uttarakhand of the glorious Padma Puran. Sarvam Shri Krishna Arpanamastu.